It's with great pleasure that I formally announce the appointment of Mr. Scott Woodward as Texas A&M's new Director of Athletics. I firmly believe that athletics is an integral part of the academic enterprise. I know Scott shares that belief with me, and as passionately as I do. Athletics is indeed embedded in the overall fabric of this great university. I know that because I had the pleasure of working closely with him while I was at the University of Washington for 4 years. Now, if you've read anything about Scott, it should be abundantly clear that he's had an exceptionally well-rounded background in higher education, having served with distinction in several key positions at several universities, at the University of Washington and at Louisiana State University as well. When he elected to enter the area of athletic administration, he brought that perspective, not only of the community's relationship with the university, but of the academic enterprise and its relationship to the athletic program as well. And you only have to look at what he did in a relatively short period of time at the University of Washington to understand his success in integrating that. We had budgetary challenges at the University of Washington, which in very short order, Scott straightened out. He played a remarkable role in the upgrading of the university's football stadium, done exceptionally well, not nearly as nice as this, of course, but it was good. And what impressed me even more were the tremendous advancements he made towards improving the academic success of our student athletes. UW ranked this year 4th in the Pac-12, but in a 10-year average, it ranked 2nd in the Pac-12 in terms of graduation rates and student athlete performance, second only to Stanford University. Not to be overlooked, and of some importance to all of us here, during Scott's tenure, they had 7 national championships and multiple Pac-10 and then Pac-12 titles, and Husky football made significant strides as well. Now, I'm sure Scott is going to be very quick to say a lot of people had an important role in doing that, but there's no denying that he was at the helm and he was in charge. He'll be a great addition to our Aggie family, elevating our position in the SEC, strengthening Texas A&M University athletics, building on the strong foundation that our very good former athletic director engaged us and did with us. So it's a great pleasure for me to be able to introduce Scott Woodward as our new Director of Athletics here at Texas A&M University. Scott.
Well, first of all, howdy. And I know I have to work on the delivery, but Tracy and Mike's office says that I have the multiple syllabic thing going already, so that's a good thing. Good to see you, Pat Henry, old friend. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, President Young, for those kind words, and I want to thank you for this incredible opportunity to join the Aggie family. I am truly humbled and honored to serve as a steward of this Department of Athletics and to put my passion and heart and soul into this great institution. I do want to thank the incredible men and women at the University of Washington, a place which I have called home for the past 11 years. As they have set a high bar of excellence, I will miss my colleagues, coaches, student athletes, and I wish UW nothing but the best. I also want to thank my wife, Nanette, and my sons, Josh and Michael, who couldn't be here today, for their unwavering support throughout my career. And I know they all look forward to being Aggies. When President Young reached out to me to gauge my interest in this job, I thought hard about where I was in my career and what I wanted in my next step in my journey. What Texas A&M offers is opportunity. The opportunity to achieve greatness across the board, to win conference and national championships in everything we do, to recruit young men and women who will not only excel on the fields and in the classroom, but who will be tomorrow's leaders. The opportunity to play a national role in future of intercollegiate athletics and to help shape the playing field for the years to come. The opportunity to be part of something special. What I know from working at two different institutions is what makes a university great is just not the U.S. News and World Report ranking, or the multi-million-dollar facilities, or the stature and research record of our professors, or even the championships won on the fields. What makes a university great are its people. The 12th man, the real 12th man, not the one ripped off in Seattle. Those who are here now and those who came before, those who hold a degree and those who simply want to be part of something big. That's what it's about. And that is what's going to inspire everything we do at Texas A&M University. I am moved by the Aggie faithful, not just in College Station, but around the world, who love everything about this place. I'm drawn to the people's traditions that I have yet to experience, like the 12th man, Midnight Yell, and the Corps of Cadets. We will win here, but we will do so with class, integrity, and honor. We will represent Texas A&M the right way. And again, thank you, President Young, and to all of you for coming out today and for continued support of Texas A&M. Gig 'em.
Mr. Woodward, thank you very much. If I can get President Young up and we can begin the question and answer with media. If you would, raise your hand. Let us get you a wireless mic, and then please identify yourself and the outlet that you represent, please, down front.
Yes, Gabe Bach with Texags and Texags Radio. This is for Scott. If you could illustrate a little bit more just the determining factors. Obviously, you had a good situation going, but the familiarity, too, with President Young and how much of a drawing point that was.
Yeah, as President Young mentioned in his kind remarks to me, being part of something special in a big global way, this institution being at the highest level, what we call the AAU, it's kind of the good housekeeping of research universities. We're part of the greatest thing. And obviously the Southeastern Conference, goes without saying, is the greatest conference in athletics. And that's rare air, and that's just a heck of an opportunity to come to a place where the people are so passionate and care so much, not only about everything that we do, but in everything that student athletes do after their careers. And it's so great to see. I mean, I remember just as a young man and throughout my career walking through airports or being in different places and seeing that ring, and it means something to people. Nanette and I's neighbor was a wonderful couple named Warren and Connie Ogden, and they were all about Texas A&M all the time and told us about these traditions, and that's part of what it is, and it's just great being back in this part of the world, and that had a lot to do with it.
Next question here, second row to the left. Go ahead.
Howdy, I'm Jake Walker at the Eagle newspaper. I wanted to know, when were you first contacted about this position?
Well, President Young and I had a great relationship at University of Washington, and when he came to Texas A&M, he and I would frequently talk to each other about advice on different matters, whether it be university related or politics or athletics related, and we would, joke around that, hey, maybe our paths will cross again, but we didn't get seriously talking until about a week or two ago.
Other questions? Down front, Kate, and then Brent.
Hi, sir. Kate Heropoulos, Dallas Morning News. It's been reported that you're passionate about football. Wondering what you expect in terms of daily involvement with the football program and your expectations for the football program.
Yeah, obviously, at a university, all of our sports matter. They're our children, and we care about all of our student athletes, all of our coaches, and what we do. But my management style is I really have to pay attention to our two revenue sports, men's basketball and football, and I'll be very involved in a positive, constructive way, in a collaborative way. I'm not a meddler. I'm not a micromanager. I let the coaches be their chief operating officers and run it the way they see fit, and we just want to come in and help them and benefit them in the best way possible, and how we can best help our student athletes.
Down front here, Brent.
Brent Zorneman, Houston Chronicle. Kate stole my football question, so I'll specify a little bit more. Do you have a previous relationship with Kevin Sumlin, first of all, and also more big picture, what do you see as your first task here at Texas A&M?
Yeah, I know Coach Sumlin. He came and visited our program while I was at University of Washington, and he was at University of Houston, so I know him casually. I wouldn't say intimately, and have high regard for him. I look forward to sitting down and talking to him.
In terms of big picture?
Big picture?
Yes, sir. Your first task here.
First task here is really, listen and learn and really find out what we need to do and how we need to improve to do the things that we want to do. I always like to steal what I'm sure our medical school would kick me in the shins for is the Hippocratic Oath, and that's first do no harm, and that's what I want to do, is make sure that I don't do any harm in the things that are right here, which is there is a lot right here, that we continue to do it and continue to do it in the right way. But I also want to add value from an administrative standpoint. Hey, how can we help you as a program, and how can we help you as a student athlete do and accomplish the things that you want to do?
Down front, Gabe.
Yeah, this question is for President Young. If you could take us through a little bit more of your knowledge of Scott, what made him the obvious choice to you, and did you have complete autonomy in this decision, or how involved was the chancellor in the decision?
Thank you for asking a question. I was getting really lonely up here and thought that I had no purpose that I could discern. Scott and I worked really closely together at the University of Washington. He was part of my senior cabinet, as he will be here as well. And in that context, I learned a number of things. One is the absolute integrity and reliability of this man, to know that I knew what was going on that I needed to know in terms of athletics. I, like Scott, I'm not a micromanager, and I would be perfectly happy to give all these important assignments to Scott and the coaches and go home and watch TV. And I had the confidence in Scott that I always knew what I needed to know, and that when we confronted issues, that we would have a chance to be broadly consultative. But I also came to deeply appreciate his wisdom and his common sense. That is a rare commodity in life than one might think. But the ability to look at problems, put them in the larger university context, and then address them in a way that is responsible and likely to advance the multiple agendas that a university necessarily has, was something that had always impressed me with Scott. And I think he brought that with particular force to the athletic program, and that was just enormously valuable. And I think that's in part some of the reason that we have remained in communication. There are things that I continue to talk to Scott about occasionally. As he says, we've solved most of the America's political problems together. We have a series of things that we've done over the phone. But it's that wisdom and that perspective that has been enormously powerful. I think also the extent to which he generates throughout the staff that same kind of loyalty, that people are going to be transparent and open with him in working with him. He engenders enormous trust because his word truly is his bond. That all makes it a management style that's very compatible with mine and what I'd like to see in athletics. Was this completely my decision? It was indeed. I appreciate the media reports that have suggested others were involved in this decision, and certainly I am broadly consultative in pretty much everything I do, but this was my decision. I particularly appreciate the Chancellor has said in private and in public on numerous occasions that I run this university, and I appreciate that very much. We have a close working relationship. I don't know the history all that well, but I suspect it's as close a working and productive a working relationship as any president and chancellor have had in this system, maybe forever. But this is a decision that really is solely the university's decision and has been that from the beginning.
Second row here on the left, go ahead.
This is a question for President Young. What kind of conversations were had with Eric Hyman before he left?
Eric did a lot of really good things here at the university, and I really want to make sure that I emphasize and highlight that. We moved into what is, I think, by any standard, the most demanding and challenging conference, the most visible conference in the nation, and moved in, I think, with great elegance and success in a whole variety of different sports, but also in a way that ensured that our student athletes as students lead the conference as well. And I think he deserves enormous credit for that. And I just want to make sure that that is clear and on the record. And then he and I had a series of conversations over the past couple of weeks, particularly over the last week or so, about directions in which I wanted to take the athletic program and things that I thought I'd like to see us do to build on that great base that he had built.
Over here on the right, on the aisle.
Hi, Suzanne Halliburton with Austin American-Statesman. I guess for you both, Scott, you're leaving a good university, a beautiful city. When you got that first phone call from President Young, what resonated with you that he told you that would lure you away from your situation?
Yeah, like I mentioned, this is my part of the world. I'm from here. You know, my ancestors, my wife got on the Ancestry.com, and you know, my father's side of the family are rednecks who are chasing lumber mills from, you know, eastern Texas and western Louisiana, and so they were back and forth. So this is home. This is what it feels like for me, and so it was an easy sell. And what I mentioned in my comments earlier is just being part of a great institution, you know, that's a member of the AAU from the academic standpoint, and being in the SEC, it almost becomes a no-brainer. And then on top of that, just the traditions, the passion, what people and who are affiliated and associated with this place feel about it. It was really something special, and it was just that. And it was at, you know, this time in my life where I thought it was time for Nanette and I to make a great professional move.
Time for a question or two more. Down front here, Kate.
You mentioned your ties or your roots and being an alum of LSU. Will that affect you on Thanksgiving for a football game that will be here? And were you really wanting to get to an SEC school?
On the latter, not necessarily, you know, because it has to be the right fit, the right leadership, and all these things have to really align for me personally. And you can ask Pat Henry, he and I will have the same conversation. Not only do you don't have mixed emotions, you want to beat them worse. And I've been gone 11 years. These folks, your coaches and your student athletes, become your children. And you know, when you watch your children compete and you watch your children fight and do what they do, you pull for them harder than you do anything in life. So that'll be a very easy task for me.
Down front, Brent.
Also, with you being an LSU guy, and any early memories of the old LSU A&M rivalry from maybe attending some games of that nature? Yeah, you know, just the most important thing for me was traveling here, I believe in the late 80s, if my recollection is correct, is just how in awe I was of the Yell leaders and of the Corps of Cadets. And I could barely watch the game because I was watching the fan interaction and the students and just the place and the tradition. And it was just like, it was something special that it just sticks with you. And it was really fun to watch, and it was really, you know, those memories are what stick in your head, and you just don't forget.
Okay, one final question right there behind you, Debbie. Hang on one second, let the mic get to you.
Hi, Courtney Rowland from AgYell.com. You spoke about earlier sitting down and meeting with a few of the coaches, but could you further explain just a little bit about what your evaluation process will be with all the coaches that you're inheriting?
Yeah, I have not spoken to any of the coaches yet, but I will, and you know, it's not going to be evaluation. They're our coaches. It's going to be, hey, how can we help you? How can we add value as administrators to give you the best opportunity to compete for championships? And what can we do to enhance our student athletes' experience here? And I know we're through the roof on how we treat our student athletes here. It's not a problem that I have to fix, but there's always ways to get better, and there's always ways to improve. Gosh, not only, do we need to do it, but we need to stay vigilant about it, because this SEC West is a juggernaut, and we just have to continue to give and improve in every way we possibly can.
Got one final question with the second row, and then I believe President Young has a presentation to make.
All right. Do you anticipate any more leadership changes within the athletics department anytime soon?
No, I haven't even started yet. I haven't even met anyone, so I look forward to doing so. And when I get here, I'll begin that process of talking to everyone, coaches, student athletes, and obviously our entire staff.
Mr. Woodward, President Young, thank you very much. I believe President Young has a presentation to make.
We're just making sure that there's none of that University of Washington, none of that LSU that sort of remains. And so we're presenting Scott with the maroon coat so that he knows how happy we are to have him here as our athletic director. Scott, welcome.
Thank you.